Okay, let's go ahead with further questions. If I want to invest in mutual fund, what is the parameter to choose a fund? Nowadays, investor ask what is the expense ratio of the fund, how relevant it is.
So it's a very important question you asked, Dikshita. See, most of the people think that investing into mutual funds is very easy. Okay, so we have also made a couple of videos saying when is the right time to exit the fund. Okay, so investors should understand very important thing is that choosing a fund is not easy. Okay, money making is a big task. Okay, so you asked the right relevant question. Expense ratio definitely make relevance in the fund selection process, but that should not be the only parameter to choose a mutual fund. Okay, there are a lot of parameters comes into picture. I'll talk about at least 3 parameters. One is the past performance of the fund, which is how fund is performing over a period of time, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. The second one is the company, the brand. For example, investing into unknown brand versus investing into a known brand. Okay, we call it as brand ethics. Okay, that comes into picture. The third most important thing is the risk. Okay, most of the people ignore the risk. So every internet page talk about which fund, what is the performance, which fund, what is the performance. So to do that performance, there are a lot of parameters included, which is we call it as risk, we call it as alpha, beta, standard deviation. A lot of things are there. So we at Invest, we have implemented more than 26, 27 parameters to choose a fund. Okay, unless those parameters have been fulfilled, we never choose a fund. Okay, with respect to the cost is concerned, see, I'll tell you the cost of a mutual fund varies from 0.01% to 2.5%. Okay, let's take the costliest mutual fund, 2.5%. My only question to investors is that, are you interested about the 2.5% or are you interested about the 97.5% of your capital? If you're investing 1 lakh rupees, the cost of that 1 lakh rupees to manage by the mutual fund company is 2,500 rupees. So if you start focusing on 2,500 rupees, then you should start worrying about 97,500 rupees. So choosing a fund, risk parameters are most important, followed by the past performance, and also by the fund manager, vintage of the fund and AUM of the fund. A lot of things are there. Also followed by the cost. So never ever take the cost as a primary parameter to choose a fund. Nowadays it's become a big trick saying that you're going to save a lot of money over a period of 20-30 years. That is not going to happen, because I have not seen in my 15 years of career any investor is continuing SIP for 15-20 years. It is a lot of things will change. Okay, it is important for you to choose a fund depending upon the risk and your goals. I hope I would answer the question.
Yes, sir. Let's move on to the next question. Can I invest in mutual fund using credit card?
Oh, this is a very FAQ for us, a frequently asked question for a lot of people. Answer is no. Okay, Government of India, SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India, doesn't allow you to invest in mutual funds using credit card. There are multiple reasons behind it. Okay, so I don't want to go behind why they don't allow you to do it, but I'll tell you why you should not do it. Even if you have money with you and if you have a credit card, you should not do it. Even if they allow you to do it, you should not do it. The biggest problem with credit card is that we have come across this kind of questions multiple times, because they think investing through credit card is easy. Okay, now practically you have a 1 month or 50 days period from credit card to pay, but that is one of the biggest culprit for you to get into financial mess. Okay, I think you can come and watch out a lot of webinar videos where we talk about how you will come out of debt. Okay, credit card is one of the biggest parameter. Okay, so while we educate people about inflation, we educate about people emergency funds. So credit card is one of the key parameters we talk about. So credit card can actually put you into a serious debt. I mean, you can see the interest rate on a credit card is 3% per month. If you take it analyzed, it is around 40% in a year. Okay, so last 1 year markets have given 20, 25, 30, 40% return, but every year you don't get it. Okay, when you're investing through that, even if you by mistake you forget to pay the credit card bill, the whole return you're going to make out of that credit, the amount you have paid will go as interest. Let me give you an example. 1 lakh rupees you invested using credit card for a tax benefit investment. You forgot to pay the bill by due date. If you delay it by 1 more day, they'll charge you 3% on 1 lakh, which is 3,000 rupees. So practically, there are situations 1 quarter return is gone. So if the fund is giving 12% return, the 1 quarter return is gone in just 15-20 days. So my strong recommendation is that never ever invest your money using credit card. It is not recommended.
We'll move on to the next question. What is new fund offer, NFO? How it is different from existing funds?
Okay, so it's a simple way of welcoming a new fund to the industry. It's called new fund offer. So you must have heard of initial public offer. The stock comes to the stock market. So IPO we call it as. Nowadays craze is going on everywhere. IPOs are coming in. People are investing. Similarly, in the mutual funds, any fund is coming into the system. We call it as new fund offer. See, that mutual fund industry has opened up for private players from 1990s. So a lot of people are coming and opening their mutual fund companies. To start a fund, they have to come with an NFO. It's typically a 15 days period where they welcome investors to come and invest. For say mutual fund, it is basically to welcome them for the investment objective what they are opening for. If it is a equity fund, they invite people to come for equity fund. So new fund offer is an entrant mutual fund. We can say child mutual fund. It's just coming into the system. It starts with an NAV of 10 rupees always. Okay, so then the fund grows. The fund, when you're buying it, it comes with 10 rupees maybe. So whatever the investment you do in that NFO period, you get it 10 rupees price. And later it will fluctuate as per the markets. Okay, so how it is different from existing fund? Existing funds also once upon a time an NFO. Okay, so the biggest difference between an NFO and the existing fund is NFO doesn't come with any past performance. If it is a new company, even we don't have the management expertise and we don't know the risk management behind it, we don't even know the portfolio also. So where they want to invest, after they collect the money, they will have to invest in the market. So they will give a broad thought process where they invest, but till the time the money get invested, we will not know. So practically, getting into an NFO is not advisable unless it's a flagship product as such. But in the mutual fund business, there is no concept of flagship product. Okay, you have to be choosing the boring fund. You should be stick to the fund for a longer period of time to make money. See, most of the funds, for example, I am fascinated about a fund called Reliance Growth Fund, which was earlier. Now it is called Nippon India Growth Fund. That fund has started with an NA of 10 rupees. Okay, today the NA has cost 1,500. So it has grown almost 150 times. Okay, but when the fund was launched, nobody thought it would go so big. So we believe, and also we do not suggest any funds, or we don't even consider the shortlisting of the fund. The fund has not completed 3 years, because we need to know how the fund manager is doing. We need to know how risk is managed, and in a 3-year period cycle, we will come to know up and downs of the market. We will know how they handle the markets. So are they giving better return than the market, or they are not giving better return than the market? We'll know. So and also the risk parameters will automatically throw us the data. So NFO is basically a new fund. Existing funds are always better to invest.
We'll move on to the next question. Is savings and investment both are same? What is the ideal amount one should save?
Okay, so it looks like both are same practically, but both are different. Okay, savings is basically you are keeping that money for short term or for an emergency kind of a thing. Investing is basically compounding it. That means you want to make more money out of your existing money. So in savings, you work for money, and that gets into savings. In investing, the money works for you. So it's the biggest difference between both of them. The compounding impact will come in the investing pattern, not in the savings pattern. That's why you cannot become a rich by investing in LIC policy. It's a savings, or investing in a post office, or booking in FD. But you can definitely become a big rich person by investing into mutual funds, by investing into stocks, investing into real estate, investing into business. So these are both different. One should, according to me, one should have a savings, decent amount of money for saving for short term and emergency, and remaining money they should invest. So if you ask a percentage of income, it's a critical thing people should know. And according to me, the average savings of Indians is around 25%, and South Indians is more than 25%. So because typically South Indians save more money. But nowadays the things are coming down. I mean, people don't want to live for long term. They don't want to invest for long term. They say, "Aaj ke jiyenge, we'll live today. We don't know the future." But what they don't understand is that whether they like it or not, they have to live. Doctors will not allow people to die. Okay, it's called risk of long living. Okay, so we believe investing is the most important parameter. I think what are the surplus available post expenses? For example, you can make a simple budgeting sheet. We'll share some sample. We can share one copy in the description box. So the sample copy of the Excel, you fill it up. What is your income? What is your expenditure? Expenditure will be broken into 3 pieces: dependent expenditure, living expenditure, and the luxury expenditure. So you can reduce the luxury expenditure and make sure what is the available money you got as investable surplus. That money can be completely invested. for long term. And I also recommend, we spoke in the before questions, it has to be broken into different pieces of goals and has to be invested. So investing is 100% different than savings, which most of the people don't know about.
Let's move on to the next question. As an investor, if I want to invest in SIP, what is the minimum period that I can invest, and what if I skip my SIP?
Okay, so SIP is a very flexible investment pattern. So in the before videos also we spoke about it. It's a tool to invest in mutual funds. Okay, SIP has become a very popular product today. So systematic investment plan, the minimum requirement is 6 installments. If you take it daily, monthly, quarterly, yearly, however you take it. The minimum requirement of any SIP is 6 months. However, the minimum requirement, even if you give it, you can still reduce it or cancel the SIP whenever you want. If you skip the SIP, the two parameters. One, if you skip the SIP because of money is not available in the bank account, or you want to skip the SIP because you don't want to, you have some requirement of money, you can't pay SIP for a couple of more months. Both options are available. So in the scenario one, if money is not available and SIP get bounced for the bank account, so there is nothing going to happen much. So that month the investment will not happen. What a SIP amount should be bought, it will not happen. So bank may charge, depending upon the bank, they charge you bounce return charges that you have to bear. And the second option is, there are options available up to 3 months. You can skip your SIP. For example, we usually see new generation people, they are getting married, they want to skip the SIP for 3 months because they have some more expenditures. So this can be done. But SIP, it is very simple you can go for a very, very long term also, short term also. But minimum requirement as per regulation is 6 installments is necessary.
So SIP is flexible.
It's flexible, and its most important is that the most popular SIP is monthly, because salaried people only get simple. It's very light on the wallet. So if I'm getting 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees of salary, then it's a different story. If a person who is getting even 10, 20,000 rupees of salary also, you can definitely save money. So that is obviously.
We'll move to the next question. What is the probability of losing my invested amount in mutual funds?
It's a tough question to answer. The answer to that one, the broad picture is yes. You may lose your money invested amount, not completely. Some amount of money you will lose. Okay, that's where the risk parameter comes into the picture. Okay, so most of the people only think about which is the best fund to invest. Okay, they don't see how will I save money or how will I not lose money. That's important. So Warren Buffett, there is a rule by Warren Buffett says, rule number 1, never lose money. The rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. Okay, because it's very, very important for you to understand. As long as you don't lose money, the wealth creation process becomes easy. Okay, so in mutual funds, to answer your question in a specific point of view, mutual fund comes with different categories of mutual funds, which are have different risk parameters. Okay, so there is riskometer available where the risk is defined. What is the risk on this fund and what is the risk on the other fund? Okay, so if you don't want to lose money, I recommend you to invest in no risky funds, low risky or medium low risk funds, where the probability of you not losing money is high. Okay, but if you really want to create wealth, so when you take very less risk, the return is also very less. Okay, so depending upon the tenure of your investment. For example, if you're looking for short term, you should not take risk. So the probability of losing money is less. For example, if I'm investing for my daughter's marriage, okay, which is 15 years from today, I should not be worried about losing of my capital, because in 15 years from today, economy will do well and things will do well. You can choose an equity fund. But in 15 months from today, that money can become negative. 15 years it may not happen, but 15 months it may happen. But if you're investing the money for buying a property in 6 months or buying a car in 6 months, you want to put that money in stocks, you want to put that money in equity mutual fund, answer is no. Okay, so the different categories of mutual funds are available to suit your requirement. So I think you should talk to your financial advisors or you talk to mutual fund distributor who can definitely help you which fund to choose.
Let's move on to the next question. Can you brief about categories of mutual funds?
Oh, it's a broad subject actually. So I will try to give you a glimpse of it. Okay, not necessary to be elaborated one. Broadly, mutual funds are broken into 4 pieces: equity mutual funds, debt mutual funds, hybrid mutual funds, and non-equity mutual funds. Okay, I'll tell you why non-equity mutual funds. This category will come as fund of funds, international funds and other things will come. Okay, so the equity mutual funds invest broadly into equity market. Okay, where internally has many categorizations. You have a large cap fund, mid cap fund, small cap fund, flexi cap, and you have sector funds. A lot of things are there. Similarly, debt also you have you have dynamic bond funds, you have credit debt funds, credit risk funds, and you have ultra short-term funds, bond funds, liquid funds, ultra short-term funds. There are many debt categories also. In hybrid also you have conservative hybrid, equity savings, and you have balance advantage fund. Many categories are there. So broadly, and the last one is a fund of fund where you can invest in gold, you can invest in as of now we don't have any interest in mutual fund, but it may come in the future. It also invests in international equities and invests in commodities and some stocks. So broadly, mutual fund broken into 4 pieces. Okay. So in each category of the mutual funds, there is a risk available. Okay. So in the equity also, the lowest risk is the large cap fund. Okay, because that is the, I'm talking about in the equity categorization risk. Highest risk is the sector fund. Okay. When it comes to debt mutual fund, the lowest risk will be the liquid fund or ultra short term fund, funds, or you can say overnight funds. The highest risky fund will be a credit risk fund, or you can go for there's a gilt fund. Gilt fund is the most riskiest fund. When it comes to the hybrid funds, I think the least hybrid will be conservative hybrid mutual funds, and highest risk could be, I think, the equity hybrid fund or a balance advantage fund. The categorization has been done to make sure customers understand this in a simple format. Okay, earlier, before 2000, I think the regulation came in 2018. Before that, any mutual fund company can launch any fund. No question was asked. Now, SEBI came with the regulation, they categorize the mutual funds. There's a specific categorization: what is equity fund, what is a large cap fund, how much you should be invested in large cap, how much should be invested in mid cap. Those parameters have been given. It's a very, very vast subject. I think we should make a webinar out of that. So, broadly, the categorization of mutual funds has been done to make sure it suits to everybody for all tenures of the fund.
So, aggressive investors can invest in equity and conservative can invest in debt.
It's a too broad thought process. I'll tell you, we have very, very low conservative, then we have conservative, then we have low moderate, we have moderate, then we have moderately aggressive, then we have aggressive, very aggressive, hyper aggressive. So that is the amount of people. So hyper aggressive are people who invest in stocks. Okay. So but we recommend or we suggest people to not to jump into the equity funds directly. If you're a first time investor, so first if you're in an SB account, so just go to the ultra short term funds or a balance advantage funds and see. Okay, or go to debt funds category first, then go to hybrid, then go to equity funds. So you can feel that how the mutual fund works, how risky it is, and then you can actually elaborate. That will be the best way. The categorization of mutual funds actually help. It has given level playing field. So we are really happy because since beginning we have a serious stringent process to select a fund. Now it has become very easy for us to prove, because earlier days a large cap fund used to invest in mid cap fund and they used to show performance. Today large cap has to invest only in large cap. So the categorization which we have done internally to help our investors has outperforming everybody. Now we are able to give better funds than I think I'll say like this, I don't know about the past performance. Maybe 5 years or 8 years from today, in the newspaper, if you get an article, top 10 funds, I think 7 funds will be ours, for sure. So we know what is our future return which is available to us.
Our next question is, as an investor, I decided to invest in stock market. I have to invest in stocks or mutual funds?
It's a simple question to answer. The answer is mutual funds. Okay. The problem with investing in the stock market itself is a very risky game. Okay. So if you're investing in FD or if you're investing in a post office, it's a different game to talk. It's an apple to pineapple comparison. I shouldn't do it. But coming to the stock market is a broad picture. Okay. With the 15-16 years of experience, I'm telling you honestly, it is not so easy to select a stock. Okay. Mutual fund comes with its own advantages, diversification, cost. It also comes with the advantage of fund manager. It also comes with the advice like us, okay, hand-holding. So a lot of things come into the picture. So we can talk 100 more things about it, but still I want to give you I think I'll give you around 2 or 3 differences why you should not invest in stocks directly. Instead, you can invest in mutual funds. There are a lot of debates happening in the internet space saying that stocks are better, buy this stock, buy that stock. I think tip should not be taken by people. Tip is given to the writer. That's what Warren Buffett says. It's not given by the stock broker. Most of the people buy a stock because somebody has told. Okay. The problem with the stock is that the qualification required to assess the stock, understand the price, and what is the probability of it is going up. So let me take an example. If you have chosen one stock of 100 rupees, I have invested 100 rupees. Okay. So once the stock falls by 50%, what is the price of the stock? 50 rupees. Okay. Now my question is, the fall of the stock is 50%. For 50 rupees to go back to 100 rupees, how much it has to go back? 100%. This was where I was talking about the rule of don't lose money. So every time when the stock falls by 10%, 15%, 20%, more and more stocks falls, the more and more it need to go back. If the stocks falls by 90%, for example, some people buy a stock at 100 rupees, it becomes 90 rupees, I think, it will come back to 100 rupees. From 90 rupees, it has to become 5 times double. 90 has, from 10 rupees, it has to become 20, 20 has to become 40, 40 has to become 80, 80 has to become 100. Do you think any stock will become 5 times just like that? It's not going to happen that way. So we believe stock picking is very difficult. And one more thing I'll tell you, there are a lot of discount brokers available in the market. Just because discount brokers are in the market, they're giving you zero delivery brokerage, it is not easy to pick up a stock. So come out of the thought process, for me brokerage is free. Who told you to talking about a brokerage? Brokerage is just 1% of it. Even if the earlier brokers would charge 1% only. Still 19% you are losing. Okay. Coming back to mutual funds, mutual fund comes with a variety of categorizations. If you, for example, I like an IT stock, you go and buy an IT mutual fund. There is a fund available called Digital India Fund or whatever, any mutual fund. I like banking. You can invest in banking fund. I don't know where to invest, but I still want to participate in stock market. Choose a flexi cap fund. Okay, so each category of these mutual funds will have at least 10, 12, 15, 20 stocks. Okay, and as per the regulatory mandate, SEBI has told any mutual fund manager cannot invest more than 10% in a single stock. At any point in time, your risk is cut there only. So if you are investing 100 rupees, not more than 10 rupees invest in any one stock. So the risk of that means you are actually investing in different stocks with different caliber. And third important thing is that the quality and qualification required to assess the stock, which is there with the mutual fund manager, who has experience, who is able to assess the stock and pick up at the right place and hold it for long term. Okay, I will give better examples of many funds which I have seen personally. They are holding Infosys stocks from 2001, 1998. They are still not sold. They are still holding because investors are there. They are holding it. Their average buy is less than 2 rupees, 1 rupee a time. So the multiplication effect will come when you diversify your fund. And when you do not have the expertise, you should definitely choose for a mutual fund. See, I'm talking about to the people who don't have expertise to it. If you have an expertise to pick up a stock, I think mutual fund should not be done. It is a waste of time. Okay. See, for my daughter education, honestly, I don't invest in stocks. Because for me, my daughter education is the most important goal. Even my son's education is most important goal for me. I will do SIP. Because for me, the growth of the fund is most important than my thought process or luck. Or I cannot go and test what is my skill to pick up a stock for my money. I'll never do it. So I think if you're a first time investor or if you have less than 10 years of experience in stock market, I think first you should make 1 crore mutual fund book. Have a mutual fund 1 crore portfolio with you. Then you do whatever you want because you have some money available to you, so you will be able to achieve the financial